Hey guys, welcome. This is a video that I'm putting together for the introduction to the HRT or High Reliability Teacher course. This is going to cover kind of a basic introduction and also cover element 1, the first element of the first course. So we kind of figured this would be a better idea as far as to train you or talk to you about this or help you, I guess, instead of us all meeting together. You know, we're competency based. Some of you might not need this. Some of you might want to just jump in. Some of you might want to have some support. So here it is. The reason I'm doing this is I've already jumped in. I've been doing this for a little while now, and I feel like I've learned some things. And so hopefully I can kind of help you out, help you get going with it. Like I said, this is the first video. I'll be putting out some more kind of as needed. And if there's something specific that's coming up during this that I'm not answering, please email me, come talk to me. I'm definitely here to support everybody. This is definitely it's a good process to go through. And so I've split this video up into three parts. The first part is how to log in and how to access this website, the Moodle, and kind of the basics behind the Moodle here. The second part is our instructional model and how that's going to be helpful or I guess pertinent to this process. And 3, the video recordings, how to record videos, and then just kind of some tips and tricks that we're working on with that whole thing. So just to start off, let's take a look at this Moodle. This is the website that you're going to be accessing. Everybody got an email a while ago, back in September, way back in September, from a guy named Mark Hasted, and he's the go-to person when it comes to our high reliability teacher course. So if you have any issues as you're going through this, just email him. He'll take care of anything that you're having problems with. And it's something if you can email me too. If I can't handle it, he's definitely our guy. So you got an email from him, and this kind of details out how to get your login information. Visit this, click forgotten your username, password, kind of follow those steps to get yourself logged into this Moodle here. And definitely bookmark this. This is going to be something that you're going to want to save and go to often. It's you'll see up here, it's Moodle, marzanoresearch.com. And so then this is just the basic home screen. This is the dashboard. There's 2 courses on here. Mine looks different. I'm already done with one course, and so I have these 2 on here. There's level 1. Level 1 has 2 courses. So there's level 1 course 1, level 1 course 2. And so level 1 course 1 is this one right here. And so you'll click on this and it'll bring you into the course here. This stuff right here, this is kind of just information, resources, announcements. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. There are some things that you'll need, things that you'll use, but it also basically just has like, here's the NASOT book, here's some student surveys that you're going to need, here's any announcements or this stuff. I really haven't used these much other than these compendium student surveys. So this is kind of it. If you scroll down, you'll see here's our different elements: element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, and then there's a course evaluation. So within the first course, there's 4 elements and an evaluation on the end. All these courses have evaluations on the end. What's up, Brian? You'll see that over here on the side, this tells you how many different assignments there are per element, and this tells you your progress over here per element as well. Over here you'll see there's links to Dr. Marzano. There's an email. You can also have a conversation with him through the Moodle. There's this guy Bill Zima. I don't know who that is, but it seems like somebody who's also been brought on to maybe manage some of the bulk of the reviewing that's going to need to be done. I'm not sure. And up here, this is a link to that Mark that you can go ahead and email Mark, since he's our Moodle administrator. Okay. As you get into this, you'll select an element that you want to work on. You'll come into that element, and the tasks will be on the bottom. Same page here, same information up top. Scroll down to find the tasks and things that you need to do. Like I said, this one, element 1, has 4 tasks. You can see the task over here: task 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D, and everything over here as far as your progress towards meeting those tasks. Okay. So. the first element is the one I want to go over here. So this is now rolling into the second part of this video, where I want to talk about our instructional model, and I want to talk about task one. So task one is really just a big introduction to the model of instruction, what we use. What we used to use last year was the NASOT, the New Art and Science of Teaching. But now that we're the Smarzano Academy, Bob is starting to roll out his new instructional model for his academies. And we're kind of the first school to go through this. We all received a copy of this from Brian, in an email from Brian, and it's where it says BOI Evaluation and Goal Setting Conversation. And on the top there, this is what you use to score yourself, to set your goals. And so you should all have a copy of this instructional model. I saved one onto my desktop, so it's here. I also printed one out so I could mark it up and write on it. So this is our instructional model. This is what everything that we are going to be doing, and all the work you're going to be doing through this HRT process is going to be about this model, about these 10 different elements. So it's definitely really worth your while to get to know these elements and check them out. They're all really pretty straightforward. Taking a look at this model here, you'll see, like, here's number one is proficiency scales, right? And here's what the teacher is, and when asked, the teacher can. As you get to looking at, I like to look at the rubric a little bit on these ones, but I want to point out something here. Students are, and when asked, students can, right? And here's specific design questions about this, and you'll notice these numbers, and these numbers pertain to elements within the NASOT. So the NASOT is definitely still apparent within this instructional model, but it's just kind of broken down differently. It's clumped together differently. It's grouped differently to make more sense towards our model. When I look at this instructional model, I like to look down here at the scales, because this tells me, especially going through this process, you're going to be evaluating yourself as to what score you feel like you are, if you're a 3 or a 2 or whatever you are. So I'll jump back up on me. So I like to look at it through these proficiency scales, and they still have the numbers here as well. And it's kind of talking about, teacher doing, that's level 2 for developing. But then the student evidence, can the students do this stuff? This is for your 3 and your 4. Okay, so that's our instructional model. Like I said, have that handy at all times, because that's what we're going to be doing here with this Moodle. So element 1 is about you basically saying, I understand what my instructional model is. I'm going to go into task 1A here. As you go into a task, you're going to get up here the criteria for the acceptance. This is the to-dos, basically. Like, your criteria is you need to have the name of the model, you need to talk about the components of the model and list them briefly, and if it has subcomponents, you also need to talk about those as well. So check this off, and check this off. What you'll see when you scroll down is, and yours will look slightly different because I've already submitted mine, but yours will be here as well. You can edit a submission, and up here it's going to give you your status, and then it's going to say, what's the status. Mine's graded, and right here, online text is where I put this one in. You kind of have 2 or 3 options when you're doing this one. You can write it on a MS Word doc, you can write it in a Google Doc, whatever, and download it and upload it, as far as a PDF goes or something like that. Or you can type it on something else and copy and paste it in. I chose to do that on this one. I'm not sure why. It seemed a little easier for me. So I just typed it into this one. And you can add comments here. And then once it's graded, once he grades it, he'll give you feedback here on the bottom of whatever it is you're doing. So this task is, like I said, it's all about knowing what the name of the model is, knowing what the model is about. And so what I did was I took this and I took this, and I kind of just went side by side, and I said proficiency scales. Okay, here's proficiency scales, and I said design and communications of proficiency scales to help students understand the progression of knowledge. And so what I did was basically paraphrased this section up here. Okay, of what it is. And so basically this is just going through and saying, Bob, I understand, here's my model, I have these 10 elements, and I understand what those 10 elements are. I told him in here, I said, if the reader desires, I'd be happy to submit more numerous of these the subcomponents, these things down in here, I'd be happy to type them up if he really wants me to, but that's an awful lot of things to type up, and he didn't ask me to do that, and I appreciate that. So I think really just kind of an overview of each of the 10 elements on this one is going to be okay, and that's ideal. That's what we're looking for. So that is just your task 1A. That's it. And this is all about baby steps, right? So just start there. Take a look at the instructional model, paraphrase all 10 elements, and send it off, and you're done. You're 1/4 of the way done being done with your task 1 or element 1. Excuse me. So you can always go down to the bottom here, and you can always bounce back and forth between the tasks. So let's head to task 1B, and 1B is basically how do you implement that model. So yes, you know the model, so now describe how you use it, and that's basically it. Explain all major components of the model for how you use it. Teacher describes planning process, and teacher describes how he or she decides which components of the model will be emphasized within a given unit plan. Okay, so that's a lot. And on this one, I did type in over 1,000 words. What I did was I went in and I addressed a certain unit that we're doing right now and a playlist that I'm using right now in Empower. And I talked about each one of those elements and how it pertains to the unit that we're doing. So I have proficiency scales, and then here's my evidence for what we do in class. I had assessment and feedback, and I said how I thought about that throughout this unit and what we're doing. Proficiency scale instruction, general instruction, grouping and regrouping, how do I group my students, blah, blah, blah. So I just went through each 10 element, and now basically instead of saying I understand what they are, I said here's how I'm using them right now in my classroom, okay? And so that's really going to be what a lot of it's going to be about as we go forward through all the videos all the elements and videos that you need to submit of you doing things in class. It's going to be addressing all of these elements: the grouping, regrouping, engagement, comfort, safety, and order. All the 10 elements of that instructional model, you're going to have to prove that you're doing. And so it's to me it's great. It's really good instruction to do all of those things, isn't it? And so let's show how we're doing them. And you might not be doing all of them right now, and it might be something that you're working on. I'm working on this, or I'm working on that, and that's the idea behind this process, is to improve yourself as a teacher and improve the instruction that your students are getting and improve their learning, and just overall, I mean, what a great thing to go through. So task 1B is how you use that model within the classroom. And I've attached some files on mine. These are just screenshots of playlists that I'm using. For example, let's open this up. For example, here's what it is. And I talk in my thing. I talk about this one. So I was like, oh, I'll just give you a screenshot, an example of this. Here's the proficiency scales that I use. I downloaded the PDF. I talked about it in my description. So I said I'm just going to go ahead and shoot off an example of what it is that I'm doing. So you can attach stuff. I don't think it's necessary on this one, but go with what you want. The next one, 1C, so we're still in task 1, is a video reflection. And so this is kind of par for the course when it comes to this HRT thing, that basically you're going to submit some things, you're going to write something, and then you're going to do a video reflection where you're talking about it all. So to kind of just show that basically, yeah, you know it, right? So this video reflection is one where you have to explain all the components of the model, even though you've already done that. You need to include strengths and weaknesses of your current model. You need to explanation includes how planning decisions are made, and explanation provides detailed information that helps clarify teachers' understanding, blah, blah, blah. So what I did was I recorded myself a video. This one I had to split it in 2 parts because my video editing software wasn't installed yet. So I have 2 different YouTube videos that I'm more than happy to show you so you can see what it was. Honestly, it's me, and I'm just babbling on and on about how I use the model. So let's just build upon who I am as a teacher, and I always figure this. Yeah. Competency-based classroom. I mean, it's just me talking, and it's really, really boring. And so, like I said, I'm more than happy to ship that over to you so you can watch it and get an idea of what I did. So let's. Oh no, did I lose my Moodle? I did. I'm jumping backwards. So anyway, so that is the task 1C. All right. And so, like I said, I split mine up into 2 things and put them on there. And we'll talk about video recording here in a second. And so then I put that in, and then the last one on this one was a unit and lesson plan template. So he wanted you to kind of document out maybe one thing that you would be doing. Right here is the NASA unit and lesson plan template. And so I did just use that, even though we're doing an instructional. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Even though we're doing an instructional model that's different than the NASA, I just went ahead and just used this. I didn't feel like recreating something. As far as a lot of the elements after this one, I have recreated things for our thing, so I'll be sure to share those with you. But for this one, I just filled out the NASA unit template and made it pertinent to the unit that I was doing, which was an invasive species unit, and I put all the things in here. And I'd be more than happy to share this with you as well. So that's kind of it. The element one is just kind of pretty basic, but I honestly almost feel like this might be even just one of the most difficult ones, or just more complex. From here on out, once you get into it, like element 2 is kind of just our goal setting that we've done for Brian and Barb for this year. This is you're creating you have surveys that you're giving to the students, and then you're gauging how they feel about it based upon the things that you have your goals set upon. So you're getting student feedback based upon what you want to grow on as a teacher. And then this down here is implement one project that's designed to connect to something greater than self. And I can talk about that at some other point. So then the third part of this video is about how do you record videos. And there's a couple of things I want to say about this. First off, by far the easiest one is going to be just using your phone. Using your phone to record yourself, videotape yourself, set this up someplace, talk, you can hold it and talk into it. I've done that. Is going to be pretty darn easy, and you can just upload them to YouTube. You all have YouTube channels through our Google accounts, because Google owns YouTube. If you go into your Google Drive and you go to the waffle and you go down to more, YouTube's right there. And if you click on this, it's just going to take you right over to your YouTube channel. Now, you might have to walk through some setup things. I'm not sure. Mine's been set up for a while, and so I use this quite frequently. And so on my channel here, I have a bunch of stuff. Now, yeah, you're recording things in class and you're recording things with students, but the things that you upload, number one, you're not going to have a bunch of subscribers because you haven't been on there before. So you won't have any subscribers. So if you post anything to the public, nobody's going to see it. But everything should be posted private anyways. So you post it privately and nobody can see it except somebody who has the link. And so then that's just going to be Bob. He's the only one who's ever going to see it unless you give him permission to show it to other people, which you probably should. And that's it. So you're going to need to start to kind of get familiar with how to do this, because you do need to have a link from a video that he can watch. You can't upload the video. There's not that kind of storage space on it. So you're going to have to get used to using the YouTube channel. It's really, really easy. If you have a phone, you can get the YouTube app, and that's the easiest way just to go about uploading. You need to connect the app to your account, your school account, but that's easy. It's just your school account username. And once you're in here, you can go to your YouTube studio, and this is where I have all the videos, and this is where you can edit them, etc. So within my videos, I shouldn't say edit them. You can't edit them, but you can give links and all that stuff. So here's all my HRT stuff. See here, and it's all unlisted or private, so that nobody else can watch it. Okay. So so that's that. There are other ways. Like right now, I'm using a webcam. We can get webcams for everybody if you feel like that would be easier. But then you also have to worry about having an editing software on your computer, which I do, and the district pays for this. It's depending on how you feel about it. Maybe you'd be really good at it. I don't know. Maybe you want to. So that would be another possibility. And the third possibility is for us to get some kind of camcorder. We have a camcorder, but right now it doesn't record to a certain file format, which we need to use for this program here. Of course, things aren't compatible as they should be. So that's something that we can also problem solve. But the basic thing is use your YouTube channel. It's going to be easy. And the last piece of advice I'll give you, just is something that I've been doing this for a while as far as recording videos goes. You can't have it perfect. Like Ryan walked in right in the middle, of course. He does it every single time I'm trying to record anything. So, you're going to get interrupted. There's going to be noises or things happening or whatever. You're going to stumble over words. It's fine. It's totally fine. Just go with it, because you can have it perfect. You can have it perfect tomorrow or 3 days from now after 20 different tries, or I can have it pretty good right now, and I choose to have it pretty good right now. So that's it. That's all I have for you on introduction into getting into your Moodle and going through element 1. And just like I said, just dip your toe into it. Once I got going, I kind of got on a roll, and so I plugged through some of the elements. And then once I got like 2 or 3 elements done, I was like, well, I'm just gonna continue doing this and keep going. It's really easy. Just so you know, once you get into the second element, excuse me, and I've already done it. I've already completed everything. These are all just video outcomes. So there's like 1, 2, 3 different videos that you're going to submit showing student things in the class or you teaching in class. And then this is just kind of summarizing all of that. So the second portion really is just 3 videos that you're going to make. And it takes time, of course, to do all this and throw all this together. So it's going to take some time. But it's neat stuff. It's worthwhile. It's very reflective. It gets you thinking. There's been 3 or 4 different things I've changed about my class just going through this process. So it's been great. It's been really, really nice. So email me with questions. Stop by with questions. Pull me aside in the hallway. Call me. Bug me. Whatever you need. I'm here to help you with this stuff and help you solve any problems that you have. Okay. So good luck. You guys are going to do awesome. All right. See ya.